In this video, I'm going to answer questions 3 about the chords. So this is a very common question. You will be given a MIDI file which has no sound on it at all, and your task is to create sound for the individual track. Now just be aware that Edexcel sometimes give you an example file. Most of the time they don't want you to use this. So I just want to stress that you should not use any of this audio that you've been given into this final track. Okay, so this is about 3a, how to create that sound. All I've done with this is in Ableton, I've dragged and dropped that file into Ableton. And with this, you always have to go into Instruments, and then on your operator, which is here, just drag and drop that onto the actual track. As a reminder, this is a MIDI file, and MIDI files don't have any sounds. Your task is to create this sound. So I'm going to do this in the first instance by using a saw wave. So in Ableton, on your operator, all you're going to do is click on that first oscillator, which is oscillator A. And on the drop-down menu where your wave is, all you're going to do is you're going to select a saw wave. If I can just remind all of you that the smaller the number, it means the less overtones, which means that your sound might not be as modern as you like it. So I would always suggest that you have the highest number that you can. So once you've got that, that should now give you this saw wave sound. In the next instance, what I'm going to do is work out how the octave matches this. So just be aware that this is quite common within Edexcel's files, which is, if I now double click and open up this editor, what you'll notice is that these notes are quite high, and also that my chord example may be in a different octave. So to find out which octave that my chord example is in, you can do this by ear. You can have a keyboard in front of you. However, if you don't know how to do any of that, go into your audio effects here, and I want you to drag and drop either a tuner on this or a spectrum. A tuner in some cases is a little bit better, so I'm just going to drag that tuner on here. And what this is going to do basically is it's going to give me the notes that are in there. So let me just solo out that track, and I should be able just to play this. Notice how this is saying that it's on A. So all I'm going to do is this, I'm going to go into a spectrum. I'm going to open up that frequency, and I'm just going to have a look at that lowest tone. And the lowest tone here is in E3. So I'm going to assume that this is in the third octave. Now if I go back into this chords here and I open up my editor, I'll notice that the lowest note here is on D5. And so I have to now move all these notes down. I don't recommend highlighting notes and moving them down within the editor. What I recommend you do is you go into the chords here, your actual operator, and what you do is on this is you go into the pitch spread transpose, and on this transpose area here, I would recommend that you drag this either 2 octaves down, 1 octave down, whatever is needed. That's how I would recommend completing that octave one. So once you've done that, it's going to ask you now about filtering. So they want you to match the filtering from the example into your MIDI notes. So to get this, what I would recommend is that you have a spectrum on to see what frequencies that you're going to get. So if I now play this, just notice how my higher frequencies aren't really in this mix. So they probably have used either Bell filter here or low pass filter. And all I'm going to do now that I understand that is I'm going to go back into my chords on my MIDI track, and I'm going to drag and drop an auto filter onto that track. You can also use the filter on your operator if you want to. Either one of those will be just fine. And what you'll notice here is that I've taken out those highs. And then finally, it says to copy the envelope used in the example. So in the example here, let me just zoom in a little bit. So you can see that that the attack, let me just open this up just a little bit more. You can see that this attack is going to take a long time to get to its peak. And then when it does get to its peak, let me just zoom a little bit more, that you can see that it will just, that the release is quite fast. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my operator on my MIDI track. I'm going to click on that oscillator A, and then click on envelope, and what you'll notice is that you have ADSR here. So you have to move this attack or the release to a certain point that you think matches the chords example. And that is how you answer that question. Let me know if there are any questions.